Now on 12, police on the scene of a shooting in East Flatbush. They say 3 people were shot in an apparent love triangle, one of them dead. Stick with us for the latest on what led to the incident. And the ongoing battle between drivers and bicyclists. One council member with a plan on how they can get along and share the road. The details on that plan coming up.
As local news gets. News 12, Brooklyn.
You're watching News 12 Brooklyn, and we are as local news gets. I'm Kelsey Minor. 2 men dead and a woman in critical condition in Flatbush. Police think it may have been a crime of passion. We go live to News 12 Brooklyn. Shayna Estulin on Clarkson and East 91st. Shayna. All right, Shayna, thank you so much for that report. Turning now to weather on the 2s and Daryl Green in the Weather Center just to tell us it's blustery outside.
Yeah, you can see from Shayna's hair just flapping around there just a bit. Fortunately.
All right, Daryl, see you in a moment. 12 on crime now. Police searching for a suspect that reached over the counter at a deli, stealing money right out of the register. Surveillance footage caught the suspect in the act. Take a look at it. Police say a woman tried to stop the suspect, but was not quick enough. In more crime news, police are looking for a man behind an assault in Bay Ridge. It happened last month at the intersection of 92nd Street and Fort Hamilton Parkway. Here's a sketch of the suspect. Police say the man is in his 40s or 50s, and he pushed a 65-year-old man to the ground, breaking the victim's hip and wrist. The suspect then got away in a white Ford F-150. Now, if you recognize him, call Crime Stoppers. The number there, 1-800-577-TIPS. Firefighters were called to a building at 470 Columbia Street at 3 in the afternoon because of a small kitchen fire. They say it happened on the 3rd floor of the building, and one person was taken to the hospital. That person is in serious condition. It can be a big challenge in our borough for both bikers and drivers when they have to share the road. But as News 12 Brooklyn's Dana Arshan tells us, a new proposal has just been introduced that could eliminate some of those issues. All right, Dana, thank you. We reached out to the nonprofit organization Transportation Alternatives to see what they think of the proposal. We'll let you know when we hear back from them. I'm Kelsey Minor, and you're watching News 12 Brooklyn. We are as local news gets. Coming up, 5 restaurants burglarized over the course of 3 months. One hit multiple times. Police now desperately trying to get those burglars off the streets before they strike again. And have you seen this missing Brooklyn woman? Police asking for your help in identifying 2 suspects wanted in connection with a string of robberies in Crown Heights. 3 restaurants hit in 3 months. News 12 Brooklyn's Andrew Dimberg joins us from one of those establishments now. Andrew. All right, up to Chopper 12 now, which is over the chokehold on the city demonstration where protesters are calling for police officer Daniel Pantaleo to be fired. 1 year ago, Eric Garner was killed after put in a chokehold by Officer Pantaleo. Protesters say that the officer put Garner in the illegal chokehold, causing his death. Pantaleo was never indicted. Time now again for weather on the 2s and Daryl Green in the Weather Center. How's the night looking, Daryl?
Really not all that bad.
As local news gets. News 12, the Bronx.
This is News 12 The Bronx. I'm Kelsey Minor. Diomedes Valenzuela, the man accused of stabbing his wife and kidnapping their daughter, is being sent back to the Bronx to face charges. Police tell us his daughter and wife are expected to be okay. News 12 The Bronx reporter Aisha Ray has more from Perry Street and Bedford Park Boulevard. Aisha, thank you so much. Time to bring in Daryl Green for weather on the 2s, and good afternoon, Daryl.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening. And
12 is on crime now. Police on the hunt for 2 suspects who robbed a thrift store in the Bronx, all with a baby in tow. Cops say 2 men stole 4 pairs of UGG boots from the Thriftland store on East 153rd Street on November 20th. One of the suspects, we're told, was pushing a stroller with a baby inside. Authorities say the suspects attacked 3 employees who tried to stop them. Those employees, however, did not need to be treated. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers, the number 1-800-577-TIPS. Remember, all calls are confidential. Trapped and nowhere else to turn. Tonight, many who are in the city's shelter system say they have no way out. It's because they say landlords are continually denying them housing, not accepting housing vouchers. And now city officials, they want to crack the whip on those who are discriminating based on income. Ray Raimondi with the story from Caldwell Avenue. Ray Raimondi, thank you. The New York City Human Rights Commission says they have nearly quadrupled the number of investigations into income discrimination. They're looking to revamp their housing discrimination testing program to make landlords more accountable. The Christmas celebrations on Arthur Ave kick off with a last-minute tree lighting success. News 12, the Bronx reporter Magdalena Doris is at the Arthur Avenue Market with more on this, Maggie.
Kelsey.
Maggie, thank you so much. Very festive there. Turning now the weather on the twos with Daryl Green and the perfect weather.
Yeah, the perfect weather out there.
The Senate has voted toward ending federal funding for Planned Parenthood. Republicans overwhelmed Democrats who wanted to keep funding the health center. Now the bill will head to President Obama's desk. If the president decides to veto, Republicans do not have the 2/3 majority to override that veto. It can be a big challenge in our borough for both bikers and drivers when they have to share the road, but a new proposal has just been introduced that could eliminate some of those issues. Brooklyn Councilman Antonio Reynoso just introduced a resolution calling for changes to be made to biking regulations. In particular, he wants bicyclists to be able to treat red lights like stop signs and treat stop signs like yield signs. Reynoso, an avid biker himself, says giving bikers a head start before the light turns green can help prevent them from getting hit.
We would not treat pedestrians like vehicles. We shouldn't treat bicycles like vehicles. I think everyone should have a set of laws that apply specifically to them, that is appropriate for them.
All right, Reynoso adds that if his resolution passes the city council, it will then have to go to the state to become law. He says it could take a long time, but his main goal is to get the conversation started. We reached out to the nonprofit organization Transportation Alternatives to see what they think of the proposal. We'll let you know when we hear back. 12, stand on transportation news now. Uber is trying to make it easier for customers to find their drivers. The app-based ride service is testing color coding technology in Seattle. It allows users to choose a color within the Uber app. Then a light bar in the car's windshield will glow with that color. If successful in Seattle, the color coding system could expand to other cities. Pop star Mariah Carey is recovering after being hospitalized with a severe case of the flu. People.com reports that she went to the hospital yesterday morning. A representative says the singer is doing much better and her series of Christmas shows at the Beacon Theater will go on as planned. Her next show is scheduled for Tuesday. 12 on health now. A new report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says half of all Americans who should take cholesterol-lowering medications, well, they're just not taking them. It goes on to say that from 2007 to 2014, the number of people with high cholesterol dropped. That said, Black and Mexican Americans are less likely than whites to take their meds. In total, nearly 800,000 people die in the U.S. each year from cardiovascular diseases. You can find more information at our website. That's news12.com. I'm Kelsey Minor. Your local sports report is coming up. We catch up with the defending city champs. Is Wings Academy ready to defend PSAL title? More on that in a moment.